Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're actually going to do a little bit of different content. Behind the scenes, I have been leveling up in the Conquest of Azeroth server, and I am level 30. A lot of people have already been doing content on like leveling as the new classes. My video is going to be a little bit different in terms of I'm just going to run a dungeon at the end. I'm going to go over the build, kind of show you what the build is with the animations. There's a lot of cool animations. I'm gonna point that out right now. But Guardian is the first one that I've leveled. All around very cool class. The whole class is built around this thing called Inspiration, which we raise our shield, makes us take 95% reduced damage, but if we're hit within that 2 seconds, it lasts only 2 seconds, we gain Inspiration, which we can spend on other things. For instance, our main spender being Arcing Strike, which hits up to 3 targets, generates a ton of aggro. But if we're inspired, reduces all damage taken by 8%, increases all healing taken by 15% for 10 seconds. So it's really nice. This is only on an 8-second cooldown, so realistically you can have perma uptime on this, right? But you can also do like Pulverize, which is basically Shield Slam, but it does 12% of our max health as physical damage. So it has the potential to do a ton of damage. But if we're inspired, then it resets the cooldown of the ability, so we can do it twice. So Iron Guard is one of my favorites for sure. This is what it looks like. It's basically a shield wall, but it makes us retake 38% reduced damage from melee for 10 seconds. It also gains immunity to knockback and knockup effects for the duration. But if we're inspired before we press this, we gain a shield, huge shield. Well, it's not huge. It's like 100. It says 165 to 169. So it's just a little added extra on the top. We also have Warquake, which I just got at level 30. It looks so cool. All right, I'll just show you here. You ready? Boom. And it pulses these like spikes. This definitely needs a buff. I'm just gonna point that out right now. It just doesn't do as much damage. It is what it is, but you know, it's alpha, so what can you expect, right? We also got Line Breaker, generates a ton of threat. This is what I use in AoE because this is capped to 3. If I need to rip some aggro back, and it's just like it's the earthquake animation. So we have Banner. So if I drop this banner, it lasts 10 seconds. Gives all nearby allies 10% increased attack speed, haste, range haste, and spell haste. Lasts 20 seconds. We also have this Thundering Charge, which is really cool. You can't stop moving until it ends, and then as soon as it ends, it like thunderclaps the ground. But it's interesting that it scales off your spell power. I feel like you could make a pretty unique build with that. But this build uses energy for everything. Everything costs energy, and when we're hit, we also gain energy. What else? This button is so cool. It's only a 1-minute CD, but essentially it makes every ally within 6 yards take 80% reduced physical damage and have 20% increased block chance for 6 seconds. It's actually insane. It's only on a 1-minute cooldown. Basically, I press this. Either A, we do too big of a pull, or B, someone rips aggro and I have nothing at the time to press. I just press this because this is free. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. You're just going to take reduced damage. It is what it is. We also have this Titanic Oath. That's just a permanent buff on us. That reduces all damage taken by 5%, increases our black value by 20%, increases the threat generator by your physical damage effects by 30%. I assume they have this purely because maybe you can do a DPS version of this build, which would be pretty cool. Maybe you can remove the threat somehow of your AoE abilities and such. And then obviously we have a taunt that if we're inspired actually fears the target, which I tried it in a BG, is actually pretty good. And then my favorite thing, just to top it all off, Duty. So we increases our block rating by 50% of our strength and your attack power by 35% of your agility. So I assume if you wanted to go like damage, you would go agility, right? And then you'd get more attack power. Anyways, but my favorite part is that second line there. Your successful blocks deal 42 to 44 physical damage to nearby enemies. This actually does a ton of damage, and you block a ton. And I'm in like terrible gear, right? Like you're capped at 30. I just hit 30. I have no trinket. This is all terrible gear, and we only have a 25% chance to block, and it just does so much damage. And it looks cool too. Now that we've gone over the builds, I'm just gonna jump into a dungeon. And then we're just going to showcase it to you, kind of explain what we're doing, and yeah. Oh, and I totally forgot, Death Ram is a thing as well. It slams the target with your shield, causing physical damage based on your shield block value plus your agility. So that's kind of cool. It doesn't generate threat, which is really interesting. Maybe thinking that they're trying to make like a shield DPS, which would actually be kind of cool. The ability reduces all healing taken by the target by 25%. This is also, it does a ton of damage for single target, but it also I think is more of a PvP thing, is my guess, because of the reduced healing. Okay, so couldn't find a group for any dungeon For whatever reason, I guess at 10:30 at night, there's not enough people on. I guess it is what it is. It is alpha, so I mean, like, I kind of expect that. However, I do need to put out a video tomorrow, so that being said, we're just going to solo a dungeon. We're going to solo Dead Mines. They are level 18, with I think the top half being like, what, 22, 23, 24, somewhere in there, like the end of the dungeon. So it should still give a good idea. I mean, realistically, what I'm doing this for is just to show you the animations and how cool they are and what kind of builds and stuff you can potentially do. Let's get right into this shit. So first, I'm just gonna charge in here. Yeah, we're just gonna do a big pull. All right, we're third charging. There we go. All right, right at the end there. Boom, big quake. Ah, easy. And one guy's not even worth my time. Move on, move on. Big pulls, big pulls. Oh, could you see that big circle thing around me? Let's see if I can get him to do over here. See that right there? Every block that I have spawns it. That big, kind of like I hit the ground. I don't even know how to explain it. Oh, I'm actually dying. Okay, so we're just gonna big AoE. Start spamming our abilities. Oh shit, we're actually gonna die. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Dude, the pulsing thing actually slows too. Oh my goodness. I'm trying not to die. I'm gonna die. No way. No. See, look at that, boys. Good level of content, I guess. We're just gonna rest up. Mostly because I just don't have any food. So yeah. This Warquake ability is actually so cool though. A lot of the animations are kind of over the top, and like stockades that is like kind of small. There was like parts where like people would like the animations were clipping and stuff. So hopefully I don't make them too big. They look really cool though. So I mean, I gotta give them to that. I'm inspired, so that means my next ability would be powered. Well, some of the abilities, so I'm gonna use it on this. It lasts 2 minutes, so it's actually pretty good. So if I shield slam, it means I can shield slam immediately again, or pulverize. Unfortunately, at level 30, I don't know if this class eventually gets heals, but as of right now, the Guardian does not have a heal. So I'm having to like sit after every pull. It has enough damage, but... Alright, so we're gonna do a big pull here. Just this little right here. Putting up my block, I'm inspired right now. There's a big stomp. Earthquake. I'm shielding myself so I don't take too much damage. Get inspired. Use it on the Gladiator's Grit thing. Make me take less damage. See how much that stomp does, dude? I think that's the Waylayer. I think that's what that's called. So on the boss, I'm just going to use single target ability. So I'm going to raise my shield, get inspired, and then use my shield slam so I can do it twice. And then use this death ram that also does damage based off of my agility. So let's get at it here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna inspire. I'm actually gonna use it on the shield. See, look at them shield. 165 to 165, 165 to 169 melee damage taken, reduced by 15% for the duration. Super nice. I'm gonna stop there for the 2 adds. Put down the other smash. I can't think of the names because I've never even heard of these, like, ever. Arcing Strike and Line Breaker. I just call them by the animations that I know. Like, look at that damage of that death ram, dude. Oh, didn't mean to press that. And realistically, you want to use Ray Shield on cooldown, and I definitely didn't do that there, but you get the point. This class feels so good, dude. It's actually insane. So I'm going to taunt those guys, get some more pulled here. The aggro is actually really nice, too. Inspired, I'm going to take reduced damage here. Stomp. Big AoE. Dude, it just feels so good, man, dude. Like, it does, like, while I was leveling up, Arcing Strike was basically all that you had. So, like, in dungeons, it would feel really weird because it's capped to 3, right? And I didn't have this, right, to, like, help with the AoE threat. So I would just be, like, reducing everyone's damage, like, with this thing. I was just relying on it so much, which is not bad, but at level 30, man, this feels so good, dude. I'm so excited to see where this goes, and with gear and stuff, like, this could be a blast. After the dungeon, we'll go over all the other abilities that you could potentially get as well. It does take a little bit of time to get to 30, so don't expect these videos like a lot, but I do plan on getting through them slowly. Basically, if you guys like these videos, I'll probably put more effort into it and more time into, you know, leveling up every other class so that you guys are able to see a little brief video presentation essentially of what the class can do. All right, we're gonna do some crazy shit in here. Let's see if we can pull all of this. Oh no, I'm stunned. Oh no. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm stunned. Oh no. We're just going nuts here. Make me reduce my damage here. Dropping banner. It does a pretty decent amount of damage. When I was doing the stockades and we were doing like massive pulls, I was keeping up with them. The primalist, like I've been running with a primalist and they do so much damage. He was the only one to beat me out of all the DPS that I was running with in those dungeons. All right, let's see if we can get this boss. I think I can pull the rest of this room. So we're just gonna try. No, the stun. Drop banner. Try to get inspired here. Reduce my damage taken. The nice thing about this ability that makes you take 80% less damage is like you can cast any of your other abilities with it. Uh-oh, I'm feared. Immediately put up the inspired thing. Try to go inspired. Nice. So we got the Gladiator's Grit. Reduce our damage taken. Oh, I'm feared again. Boom. Me and 2 other people were soloing this since like level 12. It was a ranger who forgot arrows, which was actually kind of funny. But we had a necro, and it actually did so much damage. I want to try the necro. I think it'll probably be one of the next ones I do for sure. So I'm just trying to use this shield on cooldown because this is Death Ram and Pulverizer, definitely my best single target buttons for sure. And I'm really trying not to die here. I'm going to drop this down again. I shouldn't have used that, I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe I can slow him. He's immune. Uh-oh. Oh, I got my thing up. Taking reduced damage. I'll try to kill him within the time. Putting on my reduced damage. Come on. Yes, let's go, dude. This is actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And we actually got a damage upgrade. Wow. We're just going to farm the blues, baby. Easy mode. Oh, there's also an ability I didn't show you guys, but this is 100% purely for PvP. Slash an enemy target's tendon, causing 13 to 18 physical damage and reducing their movement speed by 15% for 10 seconds, stack up to 3 times. It's a really big slow. And then using this ability on a target that already affected by 3 stacks of 10 slash, roots them in place for 4 seconds. So for PvE, this is pretty bad. Like, unless you absolutely need to run away from a mob or something, this is 100% a PvP thing. But I'm glad that they're adding abilities that, you know, sometimes you just don't use them unless, you know, that content is for you. The abilities actually remind me of like Guild Wars 2. Do you guys remember like I don't know if anyone here has played Guild Wars 2, but there's like a sand. I didn't really play Guild Wars that much, but there's like a sand class, and the animations kind of look like that. I'll show you in the next pack. I don't use Thundering Charge as much as I want to, mostly because you can't stop and you're just running and running and running and running. But see the animation for this? It looks like sand. It actually looks so cool. Dude, it's maybe it's just the animations, but it feels like a breath of fresh air to play this. Maybe it's just because I've played so much like random RNG recently that it's gonna be nice that you're gonna be able to guarantee abilities. Plus in the dungeons, like holding aggro was like not an issue at all. Especially people even 10 levels above me, I was completely okay. Maybe this class is just OP. I'm not entirely sure. This is the first class I played. But at the end, I'm definitely going to give it a ranking. You guys get the gist. So let's actually just go over the possibilities of this build. So you have Protection, Inspiration, and Gladiator. Let's just take a glance here. We can get Honor Guard. Causes you to retaliate against any enemies that deal damage to you, causing physical damage in return. Only works on enemies. So is that like a reflect? I haven't looked at some of these, by the way, so this is kind of new for me as well. Increase your block rating by 80% of your agility. Wow. Okay, so you could just be straight up an agility tank. That could be really cool. Deal X physical damage to an enemy and grants you 2 stacks of King's Guard, increasing the damage dealt by your Honor Guard effect by 20%. And that was that ability right there. This effect stacks up to 10 times. See, like, this is where they were talking about the fine-tuning of the build, and you can really pinpoint what abilities you want to do what and what abilities you don't want to use at all. And you can even change abilities, because I saw one where it was changing Thundering Charge to be you run for less, but it's also a shorter cooldown now, which could be actually good for dungeons. What else do we have here? Stand behind me. You raise your shield to protect nearby allies, reducing the damage taken of all friendly units within 12 yards by 50%. Wow, that's really good, actually. Only a 40-second cool. Oh, it's channeled. Okay. Shield Forge, 1.5 minute cooldown. Increase your armor by 40% for 12 seconds. Instantly deals AoE damage, AoE physical damage to all nearby enemies. The damaging effect will repeat every 5 seconds. That's cool. 1.5 minute cooldown. Dude, this could be so fun. Knighthood. Whenever you take damage, you have a chance to gain a stack of King's Guard, increasing the damage dealt by your Honor Guard. Challenging Cry, AoE taunt. Generates energy. Wow. Yeah, because there's definitely some situations where I want to press something, but it costs way too much energy. Like Line Breaker's 40 energy. That's half my bar. Counter Stance. Increased chance to block by 30% for 15 seconds and deals physical damage to attackers whenever you're struck. So that's like a 1 minute Holy Shield, essentially. That's what that is. Bladed Bulwark. 1.5 minute cooldown. Reduces all damage taken by 30% for 15 seconds. Your melee auto attacks consume 1 second of this effect, trying to deal additional physical damage. Okay. Forge Hammer inflicts physical damage to an enemy and increases the duration of your Shield Forge effect by 3 seconds. See, like you could take these things to like help out your other abilities. Guardian Slam, you slam into the target with your shield, dealing 200% weapon damage. That's a lot. And interrupting, so that's an interrupt. In addition to just stunning the target. Okay. Wreck Formation, whenever you use an Arcing Strike, reduces the cooldown of Line Breaker by 1 second. This would be really good. Yeah, so I would take the AoE Taunt for energy regen, Arcing Strike, and then Line Breaker, and then this to every time I use Arcing Strike, it reduces the cooldown of Line Breaker. So this just generates a ton of threat. Does a decent amount of damage as well. All right, the last one for Guardian. Instantly resets the cooldown of your Line Breaker ability, increases your armor by 200% of your strength for 30 seconds. While this is active, you generate 10 additional energy every second. Yep, that definitely deserves to be a 3-minute cooldown. I would love to see how some of these play. Hopefully the alpha allows us to go to 60 sometime soon. That was the protection tree. Let's go into the inspiration tree. So this is where you can like fine tune your banners, is what I've seen. So Ballad of the Dragon Slayer buffs nearby allies, giving them a chance to deal additional physical damage whenever they deal damage to an enemy. Banner of Protection, you throw down a Banner of Protection, reducing the damage taken by all nearby allies by 10%. So you can like fine tune what you want to do. I would probably choose Protection just off of from what I've seen. Thrill of Battle increases your energy regen by 200% for 15 seconds. That's really nice. That's actually really helpful as well. King's Valor, 1 minute cooldown, increases your block rating by 60% of your stamina, and all threat you generate by 50% for 12 seconds. That's solid, dude. 1 minute CD on that? Really? I'd be curious how much threat these people are going to generate at 60 with full gear. I'm surprised they went through with this. This game is gonna be probably a balancing nightmare, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I mean, it's cool. So I wish them all the luck in the world. Redirect your next powerful spell. Oh, this is basically just intercept. Nice. Feats of Excellence. Mark an enemy for 10 minutes. Whenever the target interrupts an enemy, they gain motivation to all nearby allies, increasing their damage dealt by 2%, reducing the damage taken by 2%. Motivation stacks up to 5 times. Whenever motivation would expire, 1 stack is consumed to refresh the duration. That sounds super complicated. Well, I guess the shortest interrupt would be, what, 8 seconds? I mean, that's not bad. Maybe a PvP thing? Feats of Glory. Mark an ally for 10 minutes. Whenever the target heals an ally, they have a chance to gain motivation to all nearby allies for increasing their damage dealt by 2%. Okay, so the same thing. So damage dealt by 2% stacking up to what? Stacking up 5 times. So 10% flat damage increase and reducing their damage by 10% as well. That's not terrible. Put that on your healer. Like, that's pretty solid. Unbreakable Armor, 10-second cooldown. Marks an ally for 10 minutes, increasing their armor by 20%. While marked, anytime the ally is hit by melee, the attacker's melee attacker will be reduced by a small amount. Can you put that on yourself? That would be the real question. Liberate. Instantly breaks the target ally free of any stun, snare, or fear effects. The target is also immune to those kinds of effects for a further 5 seconds. Gnome racial? But you can put it on someone else, I guess. That's kind of cool. Banner of Conquest. Throw down a banner, increasing the damage dealt by all nearby allies by 5%. That's not bad. I like that. That's pretty cool. Another one of those feats of honor thing. Except it is whenever a target takes damage, they have a small chance to generate motivation. Ooh, a heal. Heals a target for 20 to 27. Cannot target. Oh, never mind. Can't heal himself. Damn it. Also, all heals within 40 yards that are affected by motivation for. Oh, wow. Wait, there's some like interesting. All healing caused by this ability is increased by 25% for each stack of motivation on the target. Wow. So you can have 5 stacks, right? Wow. Okay. That's kind of cool, actually. You play the Ballad of Hero, buffs nearby allies, causing them to take 8% less damage from all sources. That's solid. See, most of the inspiration thing is just all banners and stuff. One that does HP regen. That's really nice. Another one where you put on an ally and they deal any crit. It stacks motivation. Bull Rush. Oh, this is the thing I was talking about. Reduces the cooldown of your Thundering Charge ability by 90%, but reduces its duration by 80%. So, like, you would actually be able to use this way more, and you could potentially scale that with spell power and become like a spell tank or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas, but it sounds really cool. Ballad of the Conqueror, increase their allies' attack speed, range, attack speed, and spell haste. Clan Lord, reduces the damage dealt by 8% but increase the duration of your banners by 500%. Your auto attacks will now reduce the remaining cooldown of your banner abilities. Wow, you could really get into that banner play. That's kind of cool. And I already know what this one is. This is sick. Titanfall. You leap into the air before crashing down upon the target enemy with incredible speed. When you make impact with the ground, you deal 100% weapon damage to enemies in the impact area, plus additional physical damage. Affected enemies are knocked into the air. Bro, that actually sounds so cool. I want to see what it looks like, dude. All right, last tree here. Inspiring Strike, you check your target. I assume this is like the DPS version of this tank, like spec of this class. Inspiring Strike, you strike the target with your weapon, dealing 200% weapon damage. Pretty self-explanatory. Kind of, I assume this is just your filler, essentially. Gladiator Strike, impale an enemy target with your weapon, dealing 150% weapon damage. Requires a shield. And if you're inspired, it deals an additional physical damage and reduces the remaining cooldown of death sentence by 5 seconds. Dude, if they make a DPS that's a shield, that's actually so cool. Finish them. Your Gladiator Strike gains a chance to cause an energy to the target, reducing their movement speed by 35% for 5 seconds. Using Tendon Slash against targets with an injury consumes the effect to deal additional damage. That's pretty cool. PvP thing. Upper Hand, your melee auto attacks have a 10% chance to increase physical damage dealt by 3% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So a total of 9% for 10 seconds. And only a 10% chance. I don't know if... A lot of these is like, you got to kind of test them, you know? Gladiator's Net roots an enemy for 4 seconds. That's only a 16-second cooldown. 35 energy, though. That's pretty good, though. A lot of PvP options. Shake It Off instantly escapes the effects of any stun, root, or movement speed effect. 1.5 minutes. That's really nice. We already have Death Ram. Shield Rush. Charge your enemy with your shield, doing physical damage and slowing them. This seems like a lot of PvP options. Offensive Pose. Assume Offensive Pose. Your Gladiator Strike ability will deal additional damage against targets in Defensive Pose. While active, the damage of your Death Ram ability is increased by 15%. It actually already does so much damage, dude. What the heck? Defensive Pose. Your Gladiator Strike will be able to deal additional damage against targets in Offensive Pose. And this one increases your block chance by 10%. Okay. That's probably what I would probably go for this one. And then we have Hammer Slam. You slam the target enemy, dealing 100% damage and knocking them back. 40-second cooldown. And it doesn't cost any energy. I would like to note that. Valiant Strike. This looks like the Kyrian ability. The Arms Kyrian ability, dude. Let's go. You deal 300% weapon damage to an enemy. The ability generates inspiration. Oh, nice. Another way to generate inspiration on a 20-second cooldown. 35 energy. 300% weapon damage is a ton. And it generates a large amount of threat. I want to see what this looks like. Can I have it now, please? Devs, please. Tactical Duelist. Whenever you use your Gladiator Strike ability, the target enemy will enter offensive pose or defensive pose at a random. Interesting. Only one pose can be active at a time. The effect will not randomize the pose of an enemy player that already has this ability, unless they are not currently in any pose. Your Gladiator Strike ability will deal additional physical damage against targets in the opposite pose to you. So you can put players in a stance or a pose, I guess. Blitz. Is this whirlwind ability? I don't even have to read this. For the next 6 seconds, you will spin around, striking nearby enemies for physical damage. Let's go, dude. Spin to win, baby. Enemies struck by this effect gain a movement speed slow that stacks up 8 times. Wow. Your next Warquake will consume these stacks to deal additional damage. Wait, yo, can I make a spin to win tank, dude? I want to do it so badly. While active, your movement speed will be slowed by 50% and your parry chance will be increased by 100%. Wait, you get 100% increased parry while spinning? Oh my goodness. Whenever an enemy is damaged by this effect, there's a chance for the duration to be increased by half a second. And it generates a ton of threat. Wait, this could be so cool, dudes. Oh my. Death Sentence. Inflicts physical damage to an enemy based on your strength and agility. The damage is increased based on how slow the target's movement speed is. Wow. Wow. So you can stack up a bunch of slows and this will do more damage? That's actually so cool. Like, that's actually so cool. I feel like sometimes the devs of this game, or like Project Ascension as a whole, are literally better than the WoW devs. Don't at me, I'm just saying. No escape. Death Ram will no longer incur a cooldown against targets that are rooted. Spartan Spear increases your physical damage dealt by 8%, reduces all threat generated by 100%, and increases all damage taken by 5%. Your man-hand weapon gains the appearance of a spear. That's kind of cool. So this is the stance thing, like Titanic Oath, I think. So your weapon just looks like a spear? So there is a DPS tank. That is super cool. Glory requires Tactical Duelist. You gain 1 stack of glory whenever you successfully use your Gladiator Strike ability against... Okay, so this is one of the target in the pose to you. When you reach 3 stacks of glory, the cooldown of your death sentence ability is reset. Your next death sentence or death ram ability within 10 seconds will deal triple damage. Oh my god, looks like you can absolutely omega buff death ram in PvP. That would be so cool. All right, and the last one, gladiator. Well, you have no items equipped in the in the chest, head, hand, and shoulder slot. Wait, you're just gonna you're just gonna walk around with no gear on? Your dodge chance is increased by 15%, movement speed is increased by 20%, and your attack power is increased by an additional 150% of your agility. Effect also increases the damage dealt by death ram and death sentence by 50%. Wow, that sounds so cool. This actually sounds so cool. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching the video. This is just my overview of the Guardian class. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna give it an 8. It actually sounds super fun. I definitely am excited to play this further, and can't wait for the new stuff to come out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next. Peace. Now a word from your sponsor. Well, I guess my sponsor. Just a quick shout out to my Patreons, Heartbreaker, Deborah, Frank, Noel. Appreciate you guys so much. For everyone else that doesn't know, I did just recently launch a Patreon. You get all the new build crafting ideas that I do early. You get content typically a day earlier. You just get my undying love, basically. YouTube does not pay as much as I thought it would, so any bit really helps out. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys.